Hello and welcome to episode 35 of the Battle Line Podcast, this place where we have the conversations on that collision of space between community, faith, and culture. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Satterley, and here with me is the National Director of Publications, my co-host on this podcast, my co-host in life, Major Jamie Satterley. How are you doing today, Jamie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing excellent. Is the weather okay for you? You usually give us the weather update.
I purposely didn't say anything about the weather this time, so you would leave me alone. But yes, it just so happens that the sun is shining.
We also have with us here our co-host, our producer, the one who really makes the whole world run, makes the whole podcast run, everything social media run, our media manager, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, how are you doing today?
I am so super swell. How are you?
There it is with the alliteration. Super
Matt,
swell.
You got her title right. I'm so proud of you.
Now listen, I wrote it all down. I wrote both of your titles down so that we don't have any more of these problems.
Well, listen, we have an exciting episode coming up for you today, something that Matt and I are so passionate about, and that is working at camp. Now, if you've been a listener of this podcast, you'll know we've talked about camp from time to time, but we usually talk about it from the vantage point of the campers, or you know what camp has meant in our own lives, and I'm sure there will be a little bit of that today, but mainly we're going to focus on why working at camp can be extremely beneficial in the life of a young person. This is the first time since 2019 that camps will be at this point, as far as we know, fully open, functioning in the normal capacity. So we are super excited about that. In 2019, over 50,000 kids came to camp, right? We had over 50,000 people attending a Salvation Army camp across the United States. And of that 50,000, about half, so about 25,000 people accepted Jesus or made some kind of decision in their life about their relationship with Christ. And so camp remains the most evangelistic thing that the Salvation Army does. And so it's a vital importance. And even aside from that, it gives some great growth opportunities in the life of staff members and in the life of camp members or camp delegates. So we are going to talk about some of those things today. Now, I should say, as we get into this is not an exhaustive list. You do not have enough time on your commute for us to tell you about all the exciting things that camp can mean for a staff member. But we're just going to talk about a couple of things that Matt and I experienced, or some things that are like our favorite things about why it's important to work at camp. There are hundreds of reasons. We're only going to talk about 10 today.
Yep. We did this extremely lengthy, exhaustive process of picking our top 10 reasons why people should work at summer camp. And by exhaustive, I mean, Jamie and I were in my office, and in 10 seconds, we wrote down way more than 10 things, because it's very easy. These just roll off the tongue, roll off the mind about reasons for working at camp. So there's no science behind this. This is just our top 10 reasons. So if you have, you're driving, cool. If you're at home listening or whatever, you want to take notes, top 10, go ahead and take your piece of paper, mark 1 through 10. All right. And here we go. Number 1.
So we should say too, these are things that Matt and I can attest to,
Number
because
1.
they have purposefully Matt,
no, sorry.
I said the wrong word. You messed me up. Personally experienced in our own lives. We both worked summer staff as teenagers, worked summer staff as young adults, and then we had the privilege of being camp directors prior to coming to NHQ for 7 years. So these are not things that we just know from talking to other people. These are things that we've personally experienced and have changed our own lives. So we think are great reasons for other young people to consider working at camp as well.
I will say we're going to aim for males and females to work at camp between the ages of 15 to 25. Now, that's not an exhaustive, that's not hard and fast, right? But those are a good age. So I'm sure somewhere in your life, you know a male or a female who is between the ages of 15 and 25. Now, that may change based on state law in certain places, but number 1, here we go. It has to be, number 1, discipleship with Jesus, spiritual growth. Working camp staff gives the opportunity, I should say, for you to grow so much deeper in your relationship with Jesus. What do you think, Major Jamie?
No, absolutely. And one of the things I love about this is as a camp staff member, you have, it's like discipleship two ways. One is that you have the opportunity to disciple and pour into the lives of the campers. So you get experience in what that kind of relationship looks like. But then you are also being discipled by, devotions that are happening during staff time, by, the leadership that's pouring into you. And so it's kind of a picture of both ways of discipleship, right? As the one being discipled, but also as the one doing some discipling, which can lead to some incredible spiritual growth in your own life. There's also just the simple fact that at camp, by coming away from a situation that you're most familiar with, being in a new location, being surrounded by other people who love Jesus, your age, encouraging, building each other up, just living in that kind of community aids discipleship.
Yeah, there's a quote that I say all the time to my kids: outlook affects outcome. And if you go to camp, you work at camp saying, I'm going to grow in my relationship with the Lord, which, guys, is the most important thing in the world. Way more than money, way more than fun, way more than experiencing new things. Like, I know lots of people who make millions of dollars. I don't know a lot of people who make millions of dollars. I'm just saying that. But money is not the goal in life. That relationship, your relationship with Jesus, is the most important thing. And so when you go into summer camp saying, I'm going to grow in my faith, and you put an effort into that and build out the time to do that intentionally, you will grow in your faith. You will come back from that 6 weeks or 10 weeks or wherever you are of summer and be different. Because if you put that prayer, Bible reading, all that stuff into it, because your routine gets messed up. It's something when you're at camp, you're not doing the normal things you do on a work day or a school day. And when that gives the Lord opportunity, there's that word again, to do something new and to see something new because of that. Anything else, Major Jamie, about discipleship with Jesus? Jesus was going to be number one, right? You knew it. All right. Oh, all right, number 2, an opportunity. I think that's going to be my key word. That's my secret word of the day. Opportunity is new friends, an opportunity to meet new people, new friends. Lots of people meet at camp and stay friends forever. I am still social media friends with people. Geez, Jamie, when did we work camp? 2000 to 2003?
Yep.
So
with a break in there for summer service corps, which could be another episode. But
good one.
Yep.
Save that, Elizabeth.
Yeah, but we yes, still have friends, and because of our partnership with Camp America, we're like talking about friends across the world. I still keep up with friends from England and Australia, all kinds of places, South America, that came and worked on staff when we were teenagers, and now because of the joys of social media, we can still keep up with one another.
Yep.
I've talked to so many people who, met at camp as young people or have those shared experiences. And it just, camp provides an opportunity to meet people out of your normal circle of influence, right? And just get to know people from all over. Even within the United States, we experience this at camp as camp directors. Sometimes young people are like, you know what? I grew up going to this camp. I think I want to see what the Salvation Army camp looks like in another area. And so, you might have kids from the Eastern Territory coming down to the South. You might have kids from the South going over to the Western Territory just to see, what their experiences are. And that's one of the wonderful things about the Salvation Army is, your family everywhere.
Yep.
Right.
Also, I don't know, there's no scientific numbers to this, but I would dare say, ask your Corps officer or ask the officers, how did they meet their spouse? And I'm going to make up a number. I'm going to say 67% of Salvation Army officers met their spouse, probably working summer camp. Is it a lie, Major Jamie?
It's not a lie that a lot of people met their spouse. That number,
67%.
Yes, that's one of those made up statistics. But it does make me laugh how we'll be sitting around the table talking to people and they'll say, "How did you meet?" And they're like, "Oh, we met at camp." And you're like, that is an unintended side effect.
Right. eHarmony at camp. Just kidding. All right. eHarmony doesn't sponsor the show, but if they want to, what's up? All right. Reason number 3, if you're taking notes at home, it is to make some money. Teenagers, you want to make some money because you want to buy all those Dominoes. You want to buy those you're a sneakerhead and you need to get those new kicks. So camp is an opportunity for you to keep your expenses low because they give
because
you
we feed you, house
food's
you,
there,
all
room,
those kind of
board.
things.
That's awesome. You can make some cheddar, some bread, some cabbage, some moolah.
You got a whole all the food
coin,
groups.
some old-fashioned crypto coin, some paper, that kind of stuff. Right. So yes, it's an opportunity to make some money. Major Jamie, anything you want to say about making money?
No, yeah, it is an opportunity to start, and we'll talk about this later about, life experience and job experience.
Hey, side note, everybody, Major Jamie's about to talk about fiscal responsibility. Here it comes.
But it is a great opportunity to start building like that kind of knowledge into young people. When Matt and I were camp directors, we always did a little talk.
Here it comes.
Yeah. About the importance of saving money. Because it is true. Like teenagers, it's hilarious. The first paycheck, I remember every summer, the first paycheck would come. The kids would go out for their day off. They would come back and they'd be like, check out my sneakers. I'm like, how much do those sneakers cost? Like their whole first week's pay. I'm like, okay, now let's talk, because here's what's going to happen is in September, I'm going to see you on social media talking about how there's this concert you want to go to, but you don't have any money because you blew it all during the summer. So it's a great opportunity to teach young people about good fiscal management and responsibility.
My other favorite thing about camp was you give those kids, the 15-year-olds who are first job ever, you hand them their paycheck, they open it, and they say, who is this FICA that took so much of my money?
Or they say, Captain, you said you were going to pay me,
yeah.
or Captain at the time, Major, you said you were going to spend me, or give me this much money. This is less. I'm like, well, yes, there's this thing called Uncle Sam.
You got to pay for the sunshine, buddy.
I say, go talk to the man. It's the man taking your money, not me. So it is fun. We also used to have this really fun game, 2 fun games. One is on payday. We would always sit in the office at the time the checks were released to see if we could figure out who's going to be the first one to make it into the office to get their paycheck. Because there's always like this stampede. You could hear it. And then also, I really loved to play this game when the boxes would come into the office to see like, what are these, who ordered what?
Amazon changed the camp pay game.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'm like, why does it look like Christmas in this office? All these boxes. Let's see if we can figure out what is in them. So much fun.
And not to call out where we used to be, but a lot of fake eyelashes were purchased over the summer. So, all right, number four. Here we go. Number cuatro, and that is thrills. Excitement in real life. Working at camp is fun. Most camps have swimming pools, water slides, lakefront activities, high ropes course, the blob. You know what that is. Horses. It's an opportunity to get outside. You're playing this stuff on Minecraft anyway. You might as well go out and do the real thing. Really go play some archery and really go out and hang. What do you think, Major Jamie? Talk about the thrills, the excitement, the fun that you get to have at camp.
It is a lot of fun. And because, you're there doing fun things for the campers, it just gives you an opportunity to kind of be a kid again yourself, right? Like I get paid to play Foursquare. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of fun things, a lot of new experiences. I always loved watching staff do the high ropes course for the first time during orientation, when they're kind of going through the process so they can understand how they can support and help their campers that are going to go through that process. And just seeing like the look on their face when they accomplish it, when they achieve it, something they didn't think they would be able to do. And then the fun they had doing it is just a great experience. And so we're always thrilled when staff gets to kind of come and, experience that for themselves.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, it's an opportunity to just go out and do something real. And it is fun. Camp is fun. Now, if you're saying, I don't like it, there's bugs. Okay, look. You're bigger than the bugs. Okay, you're bigger than bugs. And 67% of those bugs, there's another made up stat, will never bite you. So just it's
also there's, like we said, there are camps all across the nation. So just do your research.
Yep.
Which bugs you hate the least, go to that camp.
We're going to list them here in a second. We'll give you sort of the geographical location, so you want to keep that pen and paper near you. All right, number 5. I'm going to let Major Jamie go off on this one, but exposure to new culture. What does that mean, Major Jamie? What's a new culture mean?
Well, there's camp culture, which is a culture all in its own right, about camp songs and campfire and
favorite
things.
Favorite camp song right now, go. Go. Just what's your favorite camp song?
Matt, you put me on the spot.
Go.
My favorite song to sing during camp worship is Down in My Heart, Joy, Down in My Heart.
Yep.
You get to do karate kicks in a church song. I mean, come on.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Yes. Maybe my favorite like silly camp song might be Down
Baby
in
Shark.
the Valley. Baby Sharks with its 12,000 verses. It's a little bit of fun. So there's camp culture, but you also get to experience cultures, maybe that are outside of your own. So one of my favorite things about being the camp director in Florida was that we just had such a variety of cultures within our area. So it wasn't unusual for me to be standing in the line in the cafeteria and to hear kids, speaking in Spanish or kids speaking Creole to each other. And so being able to experience other cultures outside your own, to meet people from other cultures outside your own. And again, with our partnership with Camp America, with staff members coming from different places around the world, it just gives you a greater exposure also to Salvation Army culture that's outside of your own community. Not every corps operates the same. So when you meet people from other Salvation Army locations, you get a little bit of a broader picture of Salvation Army culture. So there are a lot of exposures to new cultures that happen at camp.
Yep. That's great. I don't think I have anything to add to that. I think you hit that right on the head. All right, number 6. This is another good reason. Halfway done. Gaining job experience for future resume work. Listen, when you want to go apply for a scholarship, apply to work, people are going to say what experience you have, and this is just a great way to build that resume. And especially, I'm telling you guys, here's a little. Listen. This is Uncle Matt here talking to you. They love to see that you do work with the Salvation Army.
It also gives them good experience, like how it's going to be for them for future jobs as an adult, right? It teaches, how to be on time, how to have a good work ethic, how to dig in maybe when you're tired and not necessarily wanting to do something, but you got to do it. So there's all these skills that you're going to need in, adult jobs for the rest of your life that you can learn at camp. Being a good steward of, camp things, all those kind of things that you'll need to know later in life, we can start instilling in young people now from an early age. So they get those kind of experience. So they don't show up on their first day of adult job and be like, I don't know how to act.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do because you worked at camp.
Good stuff. Number 7, we're going to kind of hit this one quick because we're going to catch this one at the end. But Major Jamie already kind of alluded to it. It's a great way to see the country. We have 42 Salvation Army camps across the nation. And you'd say, hey, look, I want to see what the Salvation Army camp looks like in the Northwest or in Arizona or in Ohio or in Mississippi, right? So it's a great way to see the country. You don't have to just stay at home. You can see there. Miss Adderley, you're giving me a look. What do you want to fire off with? You can go work in Canada. Canada has Salvation Army camps as well.
They do. Even Hawaii, but they hired all their staff, so you can't go there.
Yeah. Listen, you want to work at camp? We're going to talk about this in a second when we go through the camps.
I want to work at camp.
But you want to work at Camp Homalani in Hawaii? Bro, you got to have to hit that early because they're already hiring staff for 2025, I think. All right?
Not quite that far out,
listen,
but yes.
Camp Homalani right now is signing 7-year-olds coming out of second grade to work camp staff. See, that is
put you on that list.
That's a lie, but it sounds good.
Like you do when you have a baby and you have to put them on that daycare wait list 4 years in advance, like that.
All right, number 8. This is one of my favorites. You can change the world through a kid. You can absolutely not just change the life of a kid, you could change the world through a kid. We might have future presidents, future doctors, lawyers, future garbage men, whoever, and that doesn't matter. They can still speak truth into the world, and how many people can point back to I can point back to a summer camp experience that I had where some adult, some cool college kid just said something to me and it changed my life. You can change the world. You can change the world at summer camp. Major Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. I can, like Matt said, I can still think back to like who were the summer staff members when I was a camper, and the way that they invested in me, and the way that they kind of made the camp experience even more fun just by the way that they led. So many of them still, again, friends with on social media. still, in touch with because of the impact that they had on my life. So it really is a way for you to just pour into the life of a young person. Camp provides a safe space for kids to where they can just come and be kids. They don't have to worry about where their meals are coming from. They don't have to worry about what they're going to do. Everything's scheduled out for them, all kinds of fun activities. And it's just a place where they can come and be kids, but also be mentored and discipled and grow as people because of the staff that's pouring into them. And so what a great thing, a great job. Yes, there are lots of great jobs and great opportunities out there, but how many jobs really let you invest in a person in that way?
Yeah, that's good. Listen, Uncle Matt here again, guys. I'm going to say some truth to you. All right. Listen, I love you, but it's very hard to change the world when you're sitting with their Netflix remote on your chest and Cheeto dust on your fingers on the couch. Okay. Listen, it works for a little while, but if you want to change the world, you got to get out there. You're going to have to apply to work at camp. You're going to have to put yourself out there. Okay. Okay. That's it for Uncle Matt. All right. Number 9, one of my favorites too, being outdoors. Now, some of you are like, I'm out. I'm not working camp. Being outdoors is amazing, guys. Outdoors is listen, this is the truth. Oh, back Uncle Matt here. Uncle Matt, look, stress levels go down and gratitude and stuff. There's so many health benefits from just being outside. All right. You get that nice summer tan. Awesome. Okay.
Depending on where you go.
Yeah.
You got to pick the right camp to get that summer tan.
Being outdoors. Major Jamie, anything else you want to add there about being outdoors?
It's true. Like you said, there are all kinds of studies that show the benefits of being outdoors, playing outdoors, creative
Stress
play,
goes
outdoor
down,
play.
better sleep, all this stuff.
Yes. And so there are a lot of those kind of benefits, but just being, outside in creation, experiencing, away from technology. You still have access to technology, so don't get scared, but just not fully relying on it in the way we do a lot of times in our everyday life. You would be surprised at the mental health benefits that it has just from being in that kind of environment where, you're getting all the vitamin D and all that great fun stuff.
Yep. All right. Last one. Number 10. Here we go. Dun, da, da, da. Number 10, being in a place where the routine noise of life can get cleared away and you can hear God's leading. Listen, you're between the age of 15 and 25. You're right now probably saying, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? What am I going to go? How's life going to shape up for me? Listen, go to camp, go work at camp. And yes, there is Wi-Fi at camp. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you're busy. Sometimes you're tired. That's awesome. And here's why. Because God uses those summer camp staff experiences to go, shh, shh. And in that silence, when all of the noise of daily routine life is cleared away, you can hear that still small voice saying, maybe you can hear it. It's different for different people, but that still small voice say, this is what I want for you. This is what I want you to do. You could feel God's leading a little easier. It's easier for God to get a hold of you when the noise is cleared away. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think, if you go and talk to people who worked camp, as teenagers, as young adults, they can tell you about some of those experiences that kind of help them realize like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to be a camp director. We know a young person that worked for us who really just fell in love with, outdoor life. And now that's what he's majoring in college, right? Getting his degree so that he can help other people have those same kind of experiences in outdoor ministries. So there are things that you get exposed to that you may not have, in just your regular normal life. And you're able to see like, okay, God, this is what I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to do.
All right. Listen, we want you to go work at camp. We're praying right now that you would work at camp. If you are outside of the age of 15 to 25, you're not exempt. You know people between the ages of 15 and 25 who can go work at camp, who can be counselors, dishwashers, lifeguards, program assistants. I mean, there's a million jobs there. All right. So every camp needs a minimum probably of 75 staff members. And there's 42 camps in the nation. So
if you're a young person or if you have a young person in your life, tell them to invite their friend.
Oh,
right? Yeah. You've got a young person in your home, you have a teenager at home who wants to work at camp. And you also know, hey, their buddy doesn't have plans for the summer right now, has the qualifications that it takes. sign them up, take them with you.
We have
There
done.
are lots of people, you don't have to be a Salvationist to work at camp,
No,
but there are a
you're
lot
exactly
of people
right.
who became Salvationists because they work at camp.
Yes,
Not that that's the ultimate goal, but sometimes it happens.
you do not have to be a Salvation Army member to work at camp. All right. Now, we've done the hard work for you. We've put all these camps in one location. Actually, Elizabeth has done the hard work for you. So peermag.org/work@camp. So Elizabeth, we'll see if we can put in the show notes or somehow put the website on there. peermag.org/work-at-camp. It's actually how it goes.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to remember all the dashes, just go to peermag.org, use the little drop down menus, and you'll see it there, work at camp.
All right. So really quick, Major Jamie and I are going to go through this list of camps in each of the 4 territories. We'll tell you sort of geographically where they are. And if this is something that you are interested in applying at, again, this is a way to see the country. Maybe you're like, I'd love to see what it looks like in Colorado, So let's start with the Eastern Territory. All right. If you, Major Jamie, if you want to I'm going to kind of read through these. We don't have to stay too long because there's 42 of them. But if you have like comments you want to fire off about them, check it out. All right. I've been to this one, Pennsylvania, Eastern Pennsylvania. If you want to check out Camp Lador. If you're writing things down, you want to work in Pennsylvania. Beautiful camp. Massive staff at Camp Lador. So go check out Camp Lador there. For Northeast Ohio, you'll want Camp Neosa. Now, again, all these camps are linked at peermag.org. So go and find these places. I'm just giving you the names so you know what to look for. So we've got Northeast Ohio, Camp Neosa. We have Southwest Ohio, Northeast Kentucky. Take all those letters, put them together, and what do you get? Camp Swanecki. SWO, Southwest Ohio. Northeast Kentucky. Swanecki. Elizabeth, we just blew your mind. You guys wish you could see Elizabeth.
That's
right
incredible.
Yeah, listen, they were really on the ball. So Camp Swanecki, we've been to that one as well. It's a beautiful camp. Great place to spend a summer.
Yep, definitely. If you want to work in upstate New York, you'll want to check out Long Point Camp in the Empire Division. So again, upstate New York, check out Long Point Camp. New Jersey, it's a great place. They have Camp Tecumseh. All right, that's Tecumseh. I know some of you out there were like, listen to the Southerner trying to pronounce this word. All right. Then in Western Pennsylvania, you've got Camp Allegheny out there. All right. And then Greater New York. This is one of the world famous Salvation Army camps. If ever, they've got music marches written about them, and that goes to Star Lake Camp. All right. Star Lake Camp is the divisional camp of the Greater New York Division.
They have a rich heritage as in their music camp.
Yep.
So if you're musical, Star Lake might be a place to check out.
If you want to work in the upper north, this isn't quite Elizabeth's neck of the woods. It's farther north than that. But if you want to go up to northern New England, Maine, you want to check out Camp Sebago. Sebago, Sebago. I've never been here, but I have heard that this camp is camp. When you think stereotypical camp, swimming in the lake, huge pine trees, wood cabins, this is what you need to check out, Camp Sebago. All right, check them out. Then in Massachusetts, if you want to work in Massachusetts, we have Camp Wonderland. Now, here's the trick. Uncle Matt here. Uncle Matt. There are 2 Salvation Army camps called Camp Wonderland in the U.S., so you got to check, all right? So make sure you know which one you're applying for. One's the Metropolitan Chicago Division, one's in Massachusetts. Hey, Uncle Matt here. They're on vastly different sides of the country, guys, so make sure you get that right, okay? Camp Wonderland in Massachusetts. Check them out. And then Elizabeth's stomping ground, Southern New England Division, goes to Camp Connery. You know how they got Connery? Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Connecticut, Rhode Island.
Exactly. Connri, Connery. All right. So those are the Eastern Territory camps. Beautiful. They tend to, if you're working with camp, with college and stuff like that, Eastern Territory camps usually start a little bit later and go later in the summer. All right. So that was Eastern Territory, one territory down. Now we're going to move a little bit west to the Central Territory in the Midwest part of the United States. So they have a couple of divisions there. If you're interested in working in Eastern Michigan, not too far, because it's on the east side of Michigan from us here, that's Camp Echo Grove. You'll want to check out Camp Echo Grove. If you're interested in Indiana, you'll want to go to Camp Hidden Falls. I've seen their camp website. It's amazing. They have a zip line over their pool, my guy.
So fun.
And it's an indoor pool. It's an indoor pool. Camp Hidden Falls. Check out Indiana, the heartland of America. Oh, wait, there's a heartland division. That's going to confuse you. All right. We have Camp Wonderland. There it is. A camp so nice, they named it twice. All right. We have Camp Wonderland in Massachusetts. We have Camp Wonderland just outside of Chicago for the Metropolitan Division there. Now,
it's in Wisconsin.
It's in Wisconsin. If you want to go to like we talked about the northern New England, the Central Territory also has some northern divisions as well. So they have Camp Northwood up there in their northern division. So if you're looking for like getting up there in the United States, that's right. You want to go check out there. Now they've got Western Michigan and Northern Indiana. That's Little Pine Island. If you want to check out Western Michigan and Northern Indiana, then they do have the Heartland Division. Camp Eagle Crest. Camp Eagle Crest, all right? And then, which is just outside Illinois. South Illinois there. All right, we got the Kansas and the Western Missouri Division. If you're interested in working in Kansas, how many of us can say we've been to Kansas? Any of the three of us been to Kansas?
I've driven through Kansas.
I've driven through it as well. How about you, Elizabeth?
I've never driven through Kansas.
Okay, well, you can go and work there.
I would be hyped.
No, you can't.
I'm too old.
Oh, that's right. No,
I'm 26. I aged out.
Hey, we said age is just a number.
I'm devastated.
I'm sorry. And actually, the camp's not in Kansas. It's actually just over the line in Missouri, but it's in Camp 3 Trails. So check out Camp 3 Trails if you're interested in working there. For the Midland Division, we have Camp Mahaska. Jamie and I have been to Camp Mahaska. What'd you think, Jamie?
Yeah, it's a fantastic little camp. They have these great little, listen, I feel like if I was the camp director, I would try to use it as a lazy river, but it's not a lazy river. It's like a trout line. Is that what they call them, Matt?
I just remember when we went there, it was snowing.
Yes,
it wasn't the summer. It was the winter. We went at the wrong time, but it was snowing.
Which was lots of fun for us as at the time we were in the subtropics. But it's a beautiful little camp. Very uniquely situated. So
if you want the most brand new camp in the Salvation Army, check out the Western Division of the Central Territory in Nebraska, Camp Western Plains. They just got this property. This place, you want to be, I think maybe you could be part of the inaugural staff. Maybe. I don't know. Because of COVID, I think they didn't have an actual summer, but I don't know. I'm probably offending them as I'm talking, but you want to be part of their staff. Check out Camp Western Plains. And lastly, last Central Territory one is Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. This is the Upper Peninsula, the UP, as they call it in the biz up there. It's funny. Whenever I ask somebody from Wisconsin and Michigan where they're from, they always use their hand to show, right?
Which is helpful for me because I don't really know anything else about Michigan.
We call it the WUM Division, and that's Army Lake Camp. All right. Check out Army Lake Camp. All right. Major Jamie, anything on Central Territory while you give me time to flip over my paper?
No, it's a great place. Listen, all kinds of camps up there and in a variety of different kind of landscapes. So check them out. Go look at all the websites, see which one you think might be best for you.
All right, let's move to the Western Territory. And you want to talk about variety of camp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. You're right. Nobody beats variety like the Western Territory.
Different sides of the spectrum all across the board.
That's right.
From the Western Territory.
Hawaii all the way Alaska.
Let's go to Alaska.
You can't get much different than that.
All right. So here's what I understand about Alaska. If you work summer staff in Alaska, it's at the time of year where the sun doesn't dip below the horizon. The land of perpetual summer. All right. So
how amazing is that? Sunshine all day.
So
all day, every day.
If you want to go work at Alaska, go check out peermag.org and click on Camp Kings Lake. Kings, like Jesus is king and his lake. Okay. All right. Then we have Cascade Division. This is Oregon. Any Gravity Falls fans out there looking at you? All right. Check out Camp Karatley. All right. Camp Karatley at, I forgot the second part of that word. Oh, well. I'll have to. Trestle Glen. There it is. Camp Karatley at Trestle Glen. All right, check them out. The Golden State Division. Golden State Warrior fans, are you out there? What? Yep. This is just outside of San Francisco, Camp Redwood Glen. It's this. Okay, here's when you go back to a couple of episodes, listen to Ed Covert, the camp manager out there, talk about Camp Redwood Glen. Here's why I'm jealous of Ed Covert, the camp manager out there. Giant redwood trees in the middle of camp.
Encircling the camp.
Beautiful. And then he drops this little thing on us. And if I want to go surfing, I can do that within 10 minutes. You can go from Redwood Forest to surfing in 10 minutes. There are some people in life who are blessed more than others. And those who work at Camp Redwood Glen.
Ed Covert's one.
Yep. All right. Intermountain Division. This is Colorado, Wyoming, all those. You can work in Denver, Colorado at Camp High Peak. All right. High Peak Camp out there in Denver, Colorado. It's
Estes Park.
Estes Park is the closest
little
city.
town.
So you'll want to check out, I mean, gosh, who doesn't want to work in the Rocky Mountains, my guy? All right. Next, if you want the real experience, you remember back in the day, there used to be this show called Hey Dude. Back in the 90s. Hey, dude. So YouTube it, little children, and you'll see. All right. But there's a Salvation Army camp in the Southwest Division in Arizona called Ponderosa Ranch. So you'll want to check out Ponderosa Ranch. I hear, as I understand, they have the prettiest night skies in the United States by far, because out there, there's no lights out there in the desert. The air's clear. So, I mean, up here, we sometimes get trees in the way.
Light pollution.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to offend Ed Covert right now. One thing Redwood Glen doesn't have, you probably can't see the stars because the trees are so big. But if you go to...
He doesn't know that. He hadn't been there.
Leave that out. And then at Ponderosa Ranch, you can hear the stars are amazing. All right. California South Division. Look, some people just have a plethora of camps. So at California South, this is Camp Pine Summit, Big Bear Lake, Mount Crags, all that stuff is there. So check all of them out. You'll have to just see them. But that's Southern California, my guys. I mean,
Pine Summit. We've been to Pine Summit. It's at the top of, up near the top of a mountain.
Yep.
You have to go up the mountain to get to it.
Hydrate.
Yes.
You gotta hydrate.
Make sure you hydrate. Yeah. If you love drinking water, this is your place because you have to do it.
If you love drinking water, this is the camp for you. That should be their motto.
Listen, all of our camps are like that because you got to stay hydrated in the summer. But this one, I just remember that was the thing they said all the time. Drink your water, drink your water.
Del Oro Division, there outside of Sacramento, California, is Camp Del Oro. All right. So you'll definitely want to check them out as well. And then here it comes. Don't even try to apply. Hawaii. I'm telling you guys, you can apply for sure, but they are stacked. It's Camp Homalani out in Hawaii. All right. So check them out. But again, guys, you want to work at that camp, you better apply at Christmas.
Before Christmas. Apply while you're there, the summer before.
All right. And then the last one in the Western Territory, sorry, Major Jamie, and I'll let you finish it up while I switch my paper, is in the Northwest Division. This is Washington State, Seattle. Major Jamie and I were just there last weekend.
There are two camps in this division.
Camp Arnold, which is just right at the base of Mount Rainier, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful. And then Camp Gifford, which is on the other side of the division, which is just outside of Spokane, Washington. So Camp Arnold, Camp Gifford, check them out. Major Jamie, talk about the Western Territory before we go to the South.
Yeah. So again, this is great. We have a lot of great camp directors out there, programs that are happening. And again, you can't beat the variety of landscapes. You have the desert in Arizona, the mountains in Colorado. You can go up a mountain in California, the base of a mountain in Washington State. You got the beach in Hawaii. Or a place where the sun never sets. If you like sunshine, that's your place to go.
And if you're going to drink water, don't forget to drink if you like your water.
Yes, drink your water anyway. It's good for you.
All right, let's go to the last territory, the Southern Territory. Mine and Jamie, this is, we obviously have a bias. We'll state that right out. This is our home territory. And we've actually been the camp directors at 2 of these camps. So,
and just because of this is where we're from, we've been to a lot more of these camps. So it's a little easier for us to talk about. I'm still hoping that we make it to every camp across America, but it's looking like that's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough thing. COVID messed us up.
Yeah. All right. If you want to work Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, the deep South camp is Camp Hidden Lake, located just a couple of minutes outside of Jackson, Mississippi. All right, so Camp Hidden Lake there in the deep South. Get to experience that. You better like the heat, my guys, because I hope you like. Warm. Listen, you're going to apply to work in the South. You better heat and humidity. They're good friends. They're good for you. It's good. It's good for the lungs. All right, good for the lungs.
Fun fact: this is the one camp in the Southern Territory that I have not been to.
Listen to that, Captains Michael and Malika Good. We're calling you out.
Invite me.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Next is the Florida division, which is the poor man's Hawaii.
Stop that.
This is
Matt. All of our beautiful Florida people are throwing things at the radio right now.
That's right. I love you, Florida. This is the camp that Major Jamie and I were at before we came to this appointment. That's Camp Keystone. You are never far from a beach or Disney World when you work at Camp Keystone. In fact, when we went to Camp America, that's how we try to get people to work staff. We said, look, you can grow in your faith, you can make lots of money, and we're only a couple hours from Disney World. And they were like, sign me up. Anything, Major Jamie? I know you could talk for years on Camp Keystone.
I could talk for years on Camp Keystone, but in the interest of fairness across the board, I will not. I will say it is a beautiful place to spend a summer. Incredible sunshine, amazing people. That's a good place.
Yeah, we loved it. We loved our time there. All right, Kentucky, Tennessee. This is amazing because this camp sits on the state line between Kentucky and Tennessee. Literally, guys.
It runs through the basketball court.
Half court of the basketball court, half of the court is Kentucky, half is Tennessee. So how many times can you say I've played basketball over in two states at the same time? Also, this one wins the prize for probably the best camp lake in...
At least of the ones we've seen.
Nope, I'm just going to make grandiose statements. 67% of camp lakes can't compare to Dale Hollow.
Dale Hollow, it is an incredible lake. And they have all kinds of lakefront activities. The kids get to go out on this like barge thing with a slide and all this kind of stuff. You just go out in the middle of the lake and jump off of it and swim around. And
that's Camp Paradise Valley.
My sunglasses are laying at the bottom of that lake somewhere.
Another story. That's for another story. All right. The Potomac Division, which now encompasses Maryland, West Virginia, and Washington, D.C., is Camp Happy Land. Check out that name. Gonna have a bad time at camp.
You can't have a bad summer at Happy Land.
It's not called Camp Meh. It's Camp Happy Land. So you'll want to be a part of them. Check them out. Camp Happy Land in the Potomac Division. AOK, Arkansas, Oklahoma. You want to go west, is Camp Heart of Hills. What a great name, Camp Heart of Hills. And really, that's very focused. That's Cherokee Indian reservation around there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of
history.
Lot of Native American, especially Cherokee tribe things around Heart of Hills there.
So if you enjoy history, there's a lot of great things that I say great. I mean, they are great things to learn, not great things that actually happened that you're learning about, but there are a lot of opportunities for you to see different culture out there.
Yep. Then in Georgia, they've got Camp Grandview, which is a beautiful place hidden in the northern North Georgia mountains. They have a thing called Sharp Top Mountain that overlooks the camp. You can't anywhere on camp, you can see it. Just a beautiful place. This was the first place that Jamie and I got to be camp directors. So that has our heart as well. Jamie, I know you can talk on forever on Georgia and Camp Grandview, but what would you like to say about it?
Yeah, again, lots of things that I could say. One of my favorite things about this camp, aside from the amazing people that help work there and that help lead that camp, is man, there's nothing better than that breeze that comes off a mountain on a camp night. And you just, after a warm day, that breeze comes through off the mountain. And that mountain, it brings a smile to my face every time I see it. Now, you people in the Western Territory are like, a mountain? It's not a mountain compared to your mountains. According to science, it qualifies as a mountain, but it's not the kind of mountain you Western people are used to.
67% of science says it's a mountain.
Yeah, so right. It's great. It's a great place to be.
North and South Carolina, I'm going to give them their proper respect. I have to say that because for some reason, people from North South Carolina have always felt like coming at me when they've just decided to make fun of me at youth councils by making their own pillow smashing videos and stuff like that. It's a whole story, and maybe I still feel a little certain way about it, and I'm bringing that to Jesus. But you'll want to check out Camp Walter Johnson in Denton, North Carolina. We've been there because of the territorial camps that have had it, but again, a beautiful place to hang out. Massive camp.
It's a big camp.
All right. And the last one, of course, is the camp that me and Jamie met at and worked at all those years. And that's Camp Hoblitzell in Texas, just south of Dallas.
All of my formative camp experience happened at Camp Hoblitzell.
So if you want to blame things, Camp Hoblitzell is the reason why we are the way that we are. So Jamie and I met at Camp Hoblitzell. We fell in love at Camp Hoblitzell. We worked at Camp Hoblitzell.
Met
and
Jesus at Camp
met
Hoblitzell.
Jesus at Camp Hoblitzell. And they have, side note, they have the chosen thing that's being filmed. You know, these Jesus, it's a whole too much to explain, but the chosen is being filmed. Some of its filming is happening on property at Camp Hoblitzell.
Yeah,
So-
it's a really incredible thing that's happening out there. I will say, Camp Hoblitzell, I was spoiled, I think, at Camp Hoblitzell. I did not know that not every Salvation Army camp had horses, because the one I grew up, of course, it's Texas, there were horses. So the first time I went to a camp that wasn't Hoblitzell, I was like, when do we ride the horses? And they were like, oh, you must be from Texas.
Guys, go to, and folks out there, lead your 15 to 25-year-olds to peermag.org/work at camp. Guys, the summer camp is, again, one of the most, we're going to wrap this up, as one of the most evangelistic things that we do in the Salvation Army. We can change the life of a kid, change the world through a kid, and we can lead them to Jesus, and we can clear out the noise and hear from Jesus ourselves. But camp is not exempt from the staff shortages that are going around in the culture right now. And this is just a way to work to just do something amazing with your summer. Do something amazing with your summer. So tell others. If you're outside of that range, listen, just keep pushing people to the website and to work at camp. Tell them about if you've worked at camp before, share your story, share your testimony, share this with others. Not maybe just this episode. We want you to share this with others, because we want all of our positions across all 42 camps to be filled to the brim with people who love Jesus and who want to lead others to him and make a little money on all that good stuff this summer as well. And lastly, I'm going to say this before Major Jamie gives us her last question and her closing thoughts. If anything, can you just please pray for camp this summer? Can you just pray for the safety of kids? Can you pray that God's Spirit would be moving in and among everything that's happening at camp? And will you just pray for kids to know Jesus as their Lord and Savior at camp? Major Jamie, give us your final thoughts and then ask us our last question.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and you've probably heard us say this before, but in December, the Surgeon General declared that there was a mental health pandemic amongst young people in the United States. This was happening before COVID, but COVID certainly, made it even worse. And so I truly believe that there are a lot of great things about camp that can help solve some of these issues with loneliness, just the things that we've been through in the last 2 years with being separated from one another. Camp is the perfect place where young people, either as campers or as staff members, can kind of come and reconnect with community, have that time outside, kind of experience a life that can help combat some of those things that we face in the mental health crisis. And so I truly believe that camp can help be a solution to some of these problems that we're experiencing. Camp changed my life in a lot of ways. And so I am always a huge camp proponent, and will always, say, go send your kids to camp as campers, send them to camp as staff members, support camp in any way you can, because the ministry that happens there is incredible and truly is life-changing.
Awesome. Yep. Major Jamie, ask us our last question.
Yep. So, every episode we ask this question: what is bringing you joy? Elizabeth, what's bringing you joy this week?
This is totally huge. My favorite football player, Jimmy Garoppolo, is a new face of Subway and has his own sub.
He has his own sub. What's
What's
on
on
it?
the sub?
I have absolutely no idea. His grandmother's in the commercial. It's an Italian sub, and I guarantee you it's absolutely delicious.
When he goes to pass it to the customer, he drops it and fumbles it.
Oh my gosh. No
Matt,
way.
this is supposed to be joy. You're not supposed to be taking her
He's
joy.
a star. He is not appreciated in the football community as much as he should be. He is fantastic.
How have you seen the Subway commercial? Do you get like alerts? Do you have Google alerts set up where Jimmy Garoppolo?
I have people sending me videos of these Jimmy Garoppolo commercials.
Okay.
I follow the fan page where it's positive vibes only on Instagram for Jimmy Garoppolo. So, yeah.
For me, it's going to be March Madness upsets. As we're recording this, we are just finishing up the Sweet 16. And gosh, I love an upset. unless it's my team that's being upset. But it's just been it's
did
been a
your
year.
team-
No, my
did your team
team
make
did
it
not
on the
make
bracket,
it. No,
Matt?
they did
Oh,
not
okay.
make
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah. You just said, did
my
you
bad.
just
I'm
come for
sorry.
me and
I'm
say,
sorry.
this is joyful time or whatever? And
Yeah, but that's for Elizabeth. That's not for you.
but listen, I just love. I know people say like Americans at the end of it, we don't like Cinderella stories when they get to the championship, but I think it's great. I love all the upsets when people come in. They think these old traditional powerhouses are going to mop the floor, and then you hear this little scrappy St. Peter's University that takes people.
Now you're
out.
making people mad.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, Major
Protect
Jamie.
the vibe.
Protect the vibe. Last
Matt.
thing, Major Jamie, what's giving you joy?
Youth council season, youth retreat season has given me joy.
Oh, now I feel bad because you went holy.
Yep, there you go. We had the opportunity to spend the weekend at a youth retreat this past weekend in Camp Arnold in Washington, and we are going to be going to 2 more. We're going to one in Texas and one in Illinois, and I'm excited on behalf of young people that they have these opportunities to gather together again, like we haven't for the past couple of years. But selfishly, I'm also excited for myself. It means that I get to be out and with young people again. Youth ministry is where my heart is, and so I love the opportunity to get out there and experience that. But mostly, it's an opportunity to gather for worship, but also to gather for community, and it's what we need right now. So I'm super excited that that's happening around the country.
Yep, that is going to end this episode of the Battle Line Podcast. Be sure to check out the website, peermag.org/workatcamp, and just check out peermag.org and check out.
If you just go to Peer Mag anyway, see what all's on there. But if you click on Get Involved, Work at Camp, It's right there.
Be sure to subscribe to Battle Line wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out Peer Magazine on the socials at peer.magazine. Go work at camp, please. Until next time, this has been the Battle Line Podcast. Bye, everybody.
See ya.